Chris, so you have all these investments in, you mentioned, 30 internal and 30 external investments made through the fund. How do you make sure that these companies or startups can learn from each other? How do you facilitate that knowledge exchange across the different locations and across different startups?
So fundamentally, I'm really sorry if there are any knowledge management people on the call, and you can kill me in the questions, but I don't believe in knowledge management. I don't think you can, in 2019, manage knowledge. You can clearly mismanage knowledge. But this idea that we have that UNICEF doesn't even know what UNICEF knows, and we certainly don't know what we don't know. And so what we've tried to do with the fund is to test out that hypothesis a little bit and push it and say the only way that we can spread knowledge is to make the knowledge able to be spread from the very beginning. This is why we follow the principle of open source. It's not because of a particular passion for open source, although we do, some of us have that. It's because fundamentally, if you are proprietary in your company, you cannot share all of the knowledge that you're producing with our public money. If you are a country office and you're working with a proprietary company to develop something new, and we've gone through this before in our developments as UNICEF with the other innovations, if you're working on something that we then cannot take and share with others in the UN system and with our governments, because it's proprietary, we cannot share that knowledge. So fundamentally, the open source-ness of these things is a key to being able to share. If we were doing it any other way, we would be losing knowledge rather than adding to it. The other thing that we do with the fund is that we make sure that all of our investments are publicly trackable. And if you go to unicefinnovationfund.org, you can see all of those investments that I talked about, and you can actually click into them and see how they're doing in real time, which is horrifying. That's super scary because it's all out there, but that's really, really good. And it forces us to think a little differently about what we judge as success at that early stage. And for us, it's about growth, failure, and learning. But those are things that are captured and that our donors, investors in the fund, they're not actually investors, they don't get money back, but our donors are able to see and actually celebrate with us because they are learning as we go along as well.